Hey guys, how you all doing today? And welcome back for another video from my past stream. So this week worked on a character from Persona 4, which I never drawn any kind of the characters from there before. Yeah, I'll bring up the picture. So I don't know how to say the last name, but her name is Chie from the franchise. Well, I've been recommended to draw this character a while back, right before I had to leave to go on my break. So this week, this is what I worked on. So we're gonna get started on the video, and you guys can see the entire process. Once I get to, here we go. So just a basic rough sketch before I started the stream, and the process of this picture was straightforward, very simple, comparable to last week's stream that I did of the Nicole and the Porsche 917. This was a cakewalk for sure, and now we are getting the eyes and everything pretty much placed, so I get an idea how I want her to look. But there's a couple times that it kind of threw me in a loop a little bit when it comes to the hair and face, because I try to get kind of close to her likeness the best way I can, and especially in my own art styling, which theirs is way different. So pretty much just trying to get everything placed the way I wanted, the way how I think it's going to look, and pretty much found out the best spot and started doing the line art. And the hair in itself is like, I don't need to do a whole lot, so pretty much doing mainly the basic shapes, a little bit of strains here and there to kind of just give it a little bit of a like detail push to it. And it's pretty much where it's at right there. Made it a little bit bigger because the part of the hair on the left side looked a little bit too pushed in, so I had to correct that. And it's like the outfit she wears, it's like a, I don't know what they call it, like jumper suits or sweatshirts, I mean. But anyways, it wasn't a whole lot going on. I think the more sticked out thing about the design on her clothing was the pattern on the suit and the little buttons. And then we again started on doing the eyes, which eventually I had to shrink them down a little, reposition them a little bit. So trying to stick with the basic look that the artist made the character. Try to be kind of like close to the look of it, but still give him my own feel to it. There's something about doing the eyelashes, it's like, it's almost relaxing to do. It's one of my favorite parts doing these pieces. So, getting started putting the eyes in. And then pretty much do some corrections, you know, clean things up, make it look more finalized before I start doing the coloring. Then again, pretty much the details of the hair, which that didn't take very long to do. It was like, I only worked on this piece probably a couple hours off stream in between the first and the last one. It's definitely one of the more simple ones. So that's where I stopped. Pretty much about to stop on the piece before I ended the stream that night. So this is the part that I'm doing off stream after the first night. So pretty much just getting the hair done. The main goal for this that I wanted to do before I did the Friday night stream was doing the grayscaling, get it pretty much taken care of, and getting her colors in a little bit, so kind of be a little bit ahead for Friday night. And pretty much just getting her, try to be close to the hair color a little bit, because like you see the picture in the top corner, I had to do like, I have to try to be kind of close to it as much as I can. Got her eyes corrected, and then now we're getting started on the entire grayscale of the character and her clothes. Alright, yep. Because like there's not a ton of creases that I need to push upon. Which it didn't take very long to do. So like while I was working on this, I was trying to get some ideas for add like a little bit of extra creases to it. Because like the pose is pretty straightforward, you know, the coloring was pretty simple. It's like, it's hard to explain, but it's pretty like easy pace, relaxing to work on. I don't feel like I'm being rushed on any of it. It's like the last week's piece, like I had a timeline that I want to get it done, and I was pushing to get it done. This one didn't feel like that at all. It was very like simple, relaxing to work on. Listen to a lot of Slipknot work on this. So get into the more of the darker tones to kind of help make the grayscaling and the creases and everything to pop more. And it's not represented as like shadowing or anything, and just pretty much how the clothes look like when it's more to the darker areas. In which, like, you've seen the patterns on the clothes, I come back later on when I'm doing the coloring. Add in a little bit of lips to kind of give it a little bit of depth to it. And when I was working on this, I experimented with some of the tools on Clip Studio. There's a lot you can learn on. And there is a selection tool that you can actually use as like a brush. And that was like the best thing I could ever find on it. It helped bring down the time a lot. It helped speed everything up a lot quicker. So getting her patterns, her like patterns that's on the sweater. And then pretty much it's like a big like stripe on there that's kind of like light green, but that's pretty much it other than that. And then the buttons we come back to later. Again, we're pretty much want to start on the eyes first. And the eyes are a little bit, they're just, you know, brown eyes, regular color looks of a normal human eye. So I add a little bit like a orange effect to it to kind of make the eyes pop more. Because like I noticed looking at the design of this character from the people who did Persona 4, it was very they try to stick like not fully anime-esque, but they try to add a little bit of realism to the character design. So like the eye colors, the face a little bit. So it took a little bit for me to get things rolling working with my art style, because like the eyes are like way more anime-esque than like the Persona 4 design. So again, now we're getting started on doing the shadowing. Just do a little bit at a time. Like if you put too much, it'll make it look like she has a black eye. We don't want that. And it's like, as you notice, like I haven't used like any kind of like blacks and grays for doing shadowing. I started doing all my shadowing with purples and blues. The reason why I do that, it doesn't look so muddy at the end of the day. So like the skin tones, which that shows the most like muddy-esque to it when I use blacks and grays, but when I do the purples, you can see just add a little bit of color to it, so not just black and grays. And then we got started on the cell shading, which there's not very much I can really do for cell shading on this one, but it brings a little bit of a new look to the character and everything. It just makes it not really just a character, but the characters that I've been working on. It really made it look a lot nicer. We're pretty much doing like the darker tones of the grays, not the grays, but the shadowing, which I use like a dark blue. And it's like, depending on what kind of colors you use, it really shows. So adding a little bit of like lighting, a little bit of like a brightness look to the hair. Yeah, I've been doing things a little bit differently with doing like the shiny parts of like the hairs to literally anything like light effects. Like ever since I stopped using like Procreate for doing like these kind of effects, I try to keep everything like 100% on Clip Studio, unless I want to use like, you know, Rebel and stuff like that, which I'm still trying to get used to. So I gotta do my own kind of effects with the light effects, because of Clip Studio has a different way of doing it versus like Procreate. Procreate's like phenomenal, but you can't use Procreate on a PC. And transferring files back and forth, it becomes like a big hassle, like when you're in midstream. Especially like depending on how big the file is, which you only get like a minimum, the maximum file size you can send back and forth was like 25 megabytes. And when you're streaming, it takes a little bit because it's using all the using up all the, like, the internet signal that I'm using. Because, like, doing all the... So doing all these, like, details is just, like, it took a while. So, let me get this up. Oop, wrong one. There we go. So that's what it looks like when it's done. I'm pretty happy how it turned out. It's not my normal kind of stuff, but I needed something relaxing to work on after last week. And I'm happy how this turned out. I didn't feel like rushed. I finally had myself like a break from last week. So this is a relaxing kind of piece, and that's pretty much it. Next week, if you wanted to come down and stream, check me out under MadWorldImages on Twitch and Kick. Next week, I'm going to be doing a stream challenge, or art challenges to say. I'm going to be using a deck of cards, Pokemon cards, and I'm going to hand select throughout the deck. So like the back end pointing at me, so I don't know what's there. And whatever I pick, I'm going to withdraw. So if you want to get updates to that, you can check me out on the social media pages under MadWorldImages on Instagram, Facebook, X, and Blue Sky for more of that. And the stream for that would be on Tuesday night at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. So for the time being, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more of these streams and everything, and more videos that'll be coming out soon. But for the time being, I'll see you guys later. You have an awesome one.